Hey line walkers, this is Jaime A. Heidel, the articulate autistic, and I have a brand new video for you today. This one is called Why Autistic People Do That, video 28, Why We Bump Into Stuff. If you have an autistic person in your life, you have probably noticed that they have difficulty with coordination. It could be what's perceived as clumsiness, like let's say the person tends to walk into the door frame and sort of bounce off of it and give it a puzzled look like, that was weird. Or reaches for something and knocks over what's in front of it because they're trying to get to what's behind it. Or trips over things, bumps into things, knocks things over, drops things. This is an issue with, I think there's two. I was actually looking them up. I just heard that recently one of them is the sense of proprioception, and proprioception is, and I'm going to look this up, found this on medicinenet.com. Proprioception is the ability to sense stimuli arising within the body regarding position, motion, and equilibrium. So basically, we're supposed to have, I don't know if I do or not, I have no clue, but we're supposed to be able to sort of orient ourselves in time and space and know where our, hold on, I might get this right. The best way to describe it is to know where your body ends and other objects begin, and also to know where your body is in relation to another object. And I know that one of the examples that it gives here is that, if you were blindfolded, you would be able to know that your hand is either, raised in the air or down by your side. I don't have a problem with that. I know I can feel that. But I definitely have poor proprioception in that I have always misjudged the size of things. Like, I have gone through doors and bumped into the side of them, or gone around the corner and I don't quite make the corner. I think that I have a lot more room and I end up bumping into the side of the wall. Or, going downstairs is a nightmare for me. What I usually do is if I have to go down a flight of stairs, I will hold onto the railing. I usually have to hold onto the wall or at least touch the wall with some part of my body. Usually it's my shoulder. And I have to watch my feet go down the stairs, because if I don't watch my feet go down the stairs and I don't hold on at all, I have this overwhelming sense in the pit of my stomach that I'm going to fall. And I probably would if I wasn't really, really, really careful. Another thing that I have noticed about my ability to orient myself in space and time, or space anyway, is if there is an object, let's say right here, and there's an object here, and I'm here and I'm trying to get to the object B, suddenly object A doesn't exist. So if it's in front of object B, I'll literally just, it's like a narrow-minded, I don't know, narrow-minded, but like a narrow viewpoint where it's like, I must get object B. So I try to go and I grab object B, but object A is in the way. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Maybe somebody else could. My senses don't pick up on object A anymore. So I will plow right through object A, not seeing it at all, to get to object B. And usually that causes me to knock things over, or things will, it's like, and it looks as though I shot my hand out to do something, it looks like a purposeful act. So when I was a kid, people were like, you did that on purpose. I mean, I heard that more times than I could ever care to count. And true, I did move my hand in that direction and I did try to grab something. That was a purposeful act. But what wasn't purposeful is that object A was in the way, but I didn't see it. So I would knock that over with a suddenness and quickness that it would look as though I just shot my hand out on purpose and broke something. I've gotten a lot better about it now because I've been able to find ways to compensate. I'm pretty careful about the way I move my hands around objects, but I really have to think about it. This is something that it's not automatic. And from what I understand, for neurotypical people, it is automatic. They kind of know, it's like a sixth sense. They know where their body is in space, and if they have to get to object B, there's no thinking about, they'll just move object A out of the way, or they'll circumvent it, Whereas I really can't do that unless I think about it. I have to use my vision. I have to use my sense of touch to be able to figure out, okay, where is this? And actually think, okay, I've got to move this out of the way. It takes a lot of effort. If you've ever wondered why the autistic person in your life is exhausted all the time, not only do we have to think about masking, making the appropriate social gestures, nodding in the right place, saying the right word, watching our tone. We also have to be careful to not walk into you or knock your stuff over. So think about it when we come to visit you, especially like, let's say you have a child and, we're holding a child. That's fine. I love holding children. I think children are adorable. I have absolutely no problem holding one. I do not want to take one down a flight of stairs. I've done it only a couple times and I never want to do it again. Actually, I think I may have only done it once, but it scared me to death. I was like, I am going to drop this little girl. And that's because the people around me didn't believe it was really a problem. They just, I don't know, they just thought, whatever they thought. I have no idea what they thought. But I was genuinely concerned that I was going to drop her. I did not. But if I come to your house and, you have a cat and a dog and there's all these things going on and you have, a butter, like an antique butter dish on your table and you've got a vase over here. I mean, it's horrible. I don't even know how to explain what that's like. It kind of looks like I'm going to have to navigate through a minefield. I'm like, okay, I'm in this house. I have to make the right social gestures. I have to speak in the correct tone of voice. I have to watch my eye contact or bridge of nose contact. I have to make sure I speak when it's appropriate. Remember all of these things that I have to do, not automatic. And also, not knock things over. Not whack into something by mistake. I cannot tell you how exhausting it is to have to use your brain, your intellectual brain, to tell yourself all the time, watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. That'd be like having to tell yourself to breathe or blink or swallow. It is absolutely exhausting. So if you're wondering why this happens and why people are so, clumsy, it's because people with any neurological differences can have trouble with proprioception. And there's also something called dyspraxia, which is a problem with coordination. I don't fully understand that. So I probably have both, just being on the spectrum, and that's just part of the package of being on the spectrum. But yes, knocking things over is... I used to joke... Oh my God, I don't know what that was, excuse me. I used to joke that my Native American name would be She Who Drops Things, or She Who Knocks Things Over. I actually am part Native American. I'm 1/16 Blackfoot, so I don't feel like I'm appropriating anything when saying that, but I have always joked. It's just be like, Dances with Wolves, person who knocks things over, or girl who knocks things over. And I am not as clumsy as I used to be. Oh, I hate to use the word clumsy, though. It's not as bad as it used to be because, again, I usually stay in my house most of the time. And I am careful. I know my environment, too. If anything's moved out of the way, though, let's say, because I do have a roommate, so let's say something is not where it usually is. Not only can I not find it, because it's not where it usually is, it's like 5 feet to the left, and I can't find it, which I do explain in another video. But I also will knock it over or trip over it, or if I don't expect it to be there, I think that my brain has my my home mapped out in my head. So I understand where everything is and I know where everything is because I've memorized it. But if something moves and I wasn't expecting it to move, I'm probably going to crash into it or knock it over. And so that can be really irritating. But yes, if you have someone in your life who's on the spectrum and they appear to be careless about the way they move their body, it's not carelessness, and it's certainly not a disrespect for your belongings. It is actually very, very difficult, and it takes a lot of effort for us to be able to orient ourselves and know where our bodies stop and where something, an object begins. And I think there's always going to be that disconnect, unless, of course, when we were younger, we had sensory integration therapy, which is not something that I ever had because I wasn't diagnosed autistic till I was 35, and I'm 39 now. So that's the explanation for why we bump into stuff. I really do appreciate you watching this video. I am going to put a link to all the other videos down below, and also a link to MedicineNet, who I got that description from, of proprioception. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.